I bought a smart security camera for my backyard about a month ago. It wasn't for anything dramatic at first, just peace of mind. The kind of thing you install, check a few times, then forget about. My house sits at the edge of a small wooded area, and at night the tree line gets so dark it almost looks solid, like a wall instead of forest. People said deer come through sometimes, raccoons, foxes, the usual. For the first couple of weeks, nothing happened, not a single alert, just the occasional swaying branch or a cat from the neighbor's yard. Then, 5 days ago, everything changed. It started at exactly 3:14 a.m. I know that because I checked the timestamp obsessively afterward. I didn't think much of it at first. My phone buzzed me awake with the usual notification, motion detected in backyard. Half asleep, I opened the live feed, grainy night vision, the usual green-black wash of my yard, and there, at the very edge of the woods, was a shape. At first I told myself it was nothing, a trick of light, a deer half hidden behind the trees. The camera sometimes warped shadows when the wind moved the branches just right, so I went back to bed. But I didn't sleep well after that. It wasn't fear yet, more like irritation, the kind of mild annoyance you feel when something doesn't quite add up but isn't worth losing sleep over. The next night I expected another alert, and I got it. 3:14 a.m., same exact time. That alone should have bothered me more than it did. This time I was already sitting up when the notification came through, like my body knew before my mind did. I opened the feed immediately. The shape was there again, still at the edge of the woods. But it was different. It wasn't just a shadow anymore. It had definition. A vertical thinness that didn't belong to anything natural, too tall, too straight, like a human silhouette stretched wrong, as if someone had pulled it upward and forgotten to stop. I stared at it for a long time, and then I did what I still regret. I rationalized it. Maybe it was a trick of the camera's night mode. Maybe a branch aligned perfectly with a fence post behind it. Maybe I was just tired. I even zoomed in until the image pixelated. Nothing moved. Eventually, I put the phone down, but I left the app open. I don't know why. The third night is when things started to feel intentional. 3:14 a.m. again. This time I didn't hesitate. I opened the feed instantly, heart already pounding before I even saw anything. And there it was. Closer, not by much, but enough that I noticed immediately. It had moved out from the tree line. The yard isn't large, but it's open. Grass, a narrow stone path, and a few garden lights that stay off at night. The camera's infrared picked up everything in harsh contrast. The figure stood just beyond where the grass begins to thin near the woods, and it was facing the house. That detail is what made my stomach drop. Because before, it had just been there, existing, indistinct. Now it felt aware, like it knew where the camera was. I checked the previous nights side by side, screenshot after screenshot. My hands were shaking slightly as I compared them. Night 1, deep in the woods. Night 2, edge of the trees. Night 3, just beyond the first stretch of grass. Each time at 3:14 a.m., each time closer. That's when I started checking the locks in my house twice before bed, then 3 times, then 4. By the 4th night, I wasn't sleeping at all. I stayed awake on the couch, lights off, only the glow of my phone illuminating the room. Every creak of the house felt amplified, old wood settling, pipes ticking, the faint hum of the refrigerator sounding almost like breathing. At around 2:50 a.m., I started feeling sick, not physically at first, just a rising pressure in my chest. That instinctive dread you get when something is about to happen and your body knows it before your mind can justify it. I remember thinking, if I don't look, it can't show up. But I still looked. 3:14 a.m. notification. My hands were already sweating as I opened the feed, and that's when I realized something I can't explain without feeling my skin crawl all over again. It wasn't just closer, it was measured, like it had been walking in exact increments each night, 10 feet. That's what I told myself after comparing everything again. Rough estimates based on the fence line, the garden lights, the spacing of the trees, 10 feet per night, like it was pacing itself, like it knew exactly how long it had. I didn't sleep after that at all. I sat in the dark of my living room with every small sound of the house suddenly feeling wrong. The wind outside sounded heavier. The walls seemed less like protection and more like thin paper between me and whatever was out there. And the worst part was the silence between the sounds, that waiting, that feeling of something paused. I decided I wasn't going to just watch, I was going to catch it. I set an alarm for 3:10 a.m. I stayed in the living room, eyes fixed on the camera feed the entire time. No blinking, no distractions. Every notification sound felt louder than the last. 3:09 a.m. Nothing. 3:10 a.m. Still nothing. My heart was hammering so hard I could feel it in my throat. 3:13 a.m. I remember thinking, this is it. It's going to appear again. 3:14 a.m. The notification flashed. Motion detected in backyard. But when I opened the live feed, the yard was empty, completely empty. No shadow, no movement, no figure at the tree line, just the wind moving slowly through the grass. For the first time in 5 nights, I felt relief, real physical relief. My shoulders dropped. My grip on the phone loosened. Maybe it was over. Maybe it had just been some strange pattern, a glitch, a coincidence that my tired brain had turned into something worse. I leaned back on the couch and exhaled. That's when I noticed the camera lens. There was something on it. At first, I thought it was condensation or dirt, a smudge that had slowly built up and finally caught the infrared light in a weird way. I opened the app again and zoomed in. My stomach dropped instantly. It wasn't a smudge, it was a face. Pale, distorted, pressed directly against the camera glass. 2 hollow eyes, and a mouth stretched into something too wide, too jagged, too wrong to be human. It wasn't in the yard anymore. It was right there, on my porch, looking straight into the camera, looking straight into me. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe properly. My body felt locked in place like something had pressed pause on every instinct except fear. And then, a sound echoed through the house, not from the camera, from inside. Tap. I froze. Tap. Again. Slow. Deliberate. From the second floor. From my bedroom window. I don't remember standing up, but I must have. Because suddenly I was at the bottom of the stairs staring upward into darkness that felt heavier than usual. The house was completely still now. Even the usual settling sounds were gone, like everything was listening. Tap. The sound came again, clearer this time, right above me. I slowly started up the stairs. Each step felt louder than it should have been, the wood creaking like it was announcing me. My hand hovered near the railing, but I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to make any unnecessary noise. Halfway up, I stopped, because I realized something that made my blood go cold. The taps weren't random. They were in rhythm, exactly the same spacing as the motion alerts. 3:14 pacing, 10 feet at a time, and now it was inside the house. At the top of the stairs, the hallway was dark. My bedroom door was slightly open, and then I heard it again. Not tapping this time. Breathing, slow, patient, from inside my room. I stood there, unable to move forward, staring at the thin line of darkness between the door and the frame, and just as I reached for the light switch at the end of the hall, my phone lit up in my pocket. One final notification came through from the camera, even though I hadn't opened it, even though I was nowhere near the feed. It simply said, "Motion detected, bedroom." And behind my bedroom door, something shifted.